Thank you everyone for attending today as we're excited to announce the 6th season of Fridays on the Promenade right here in downtown Sioux City in front of the beautiful Ross Fountain. It's hard to believe that 6 years has gone by already, and the event is really the same event that it was day one, only we've just continued to improve upon it every year, and I think this year's is just another example of that. It's really come into its own, this event, and people really look forward to it and have it on their calendars year in, year out now, and it's great to see the attendance continue to rise as it's added. As with every year, the events, the shows that we're putting on will be held right here around the Ross Fountain in front of the Promenade Theater down here in downtown Sioux City. Our shows this year are going to run from May 27th through August 19th, and we're going to have 7 shows every other Friday night. The shows run, as always, from 6 to 8 p.m., and we'll feature musical acts from throughout the United States. But one neat feature that we're adding this year is that each show is going to be opened up by a local act. So we're going to start featuring some local artists as well to really bring in that local interest. Again, all the shows will be held right here in front of the Ross Fountain, 6 to 8 p.m. Friday evenings, every other Friday night throughout this summer. Admission is only $3, and that admission goes to furthering the shows themselves. Food and drink vendors will be on hand at all of the shows, and as always, seating is limited, so it would be a good idea to bring a lawn chair as well. An important point also to remember is our rain location. In case of rain, we will hold the events at the Chesterfield. The address there is 1225 4th Street. And you can always check our website if you're in question. And also, if you just want to check out the bands or any information at all, the website is www.fridaysonthepromenade.com. You can also friend us on Facebook. These events would not be possible at all without some very, very generous donors, a lot of which have been with us from the very first year. So I do want to take a moment to recognize them. Our presenting sponsors this year are BPI and State Steel. The additional sponsors include the City of Sioux City, the Sioux City Growth Organization, Downtown Partners, J.D. Gordon, KTIV Channel 4, The Weekender, the Siouxland Chamber of Commerce, Cool 99.5, New 102.3, Buzz, Central Bank, the Chesterfield, Clarion Hotel, Bimco, Great Southern Bank, Klinger Companies, L&L Distributing, Prime Bank, U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, and Miller Lite. I also want to spotlight our committee members that put in the time to put these shows on. They would include Regina Roth, Mary Toaster, Brett Stockton, Reagan Coe, Terry Hoffman, Mark Kwasinski, Kim Gordon, and Angel Wallace. So I want to thank them as well. And now Brett Stockton is actually going to come up and talk about our feature, the bands this summer.
Hi there, thanks a lot for coming out. I'm just going to give you a little information about some of the bands that we've got coming in. Like Kyle said, we've got another great lineup. You know, every year we try to just kind of find a real diverse lineup of bands. I think we've done that again. I do want to mention, kind of reiterate what Kyle said about the local act. I'm pretty fired up about that. I mean, we've been trying to do that for the last couple of years. We've talked about it, I should say, and finally this year we're going to do it, and it's going to be really cool to have a local artist go on stage first and, you know, get those fans, get a chance to see some of these people. That'll be a solo or a duo act, and they'll just go on and do about 25 or 30 minutes first, and then the headliner will go on. And the other kind of cool thing about this format is then the headliner will go on and play straight through. There won't be any breaks. So should make a really great format for the night of music. Starting off the show or the season this year, we've got a really great act out of Chicago. They're called Mississippi Heat. Pierre Lecoq is one of the premier harmonica players in the world. Literally, he's out of Austria originally, and then all of the vocals are done by Inetta Weiser, who's if you pictured a blues singer, it would be Inetta Weiser, and she can really tear it up. So it's going to be a great show to kick off the season, and that's going to be May 27th. Then on June 10th, we've got Union Specific, they're called. They're a kind of alternative country roots rock band. They've been really coming on the scene a lot in the last few years. They're a younger band. We've actually got several younger bands this year, and we're kind of hoping to continue to bring crowds in that meet a wider demographic and maybe even draw a little younger audience with some of these bands. On June 24th, what should be one of the highlights of the whole season is Paul Seabar and Tomorrow Sound. Paul has been around for a long time. He was in a band called the Milwaukeeans for a long time. Obviously, he's out of Milwaukee, but he's got this new band together called the Tomorrow Sound, and they've got a little bit of everything going on. Everything from a little Cajun to a little Zydeco, a lot of great guitar work, and that's going to be a really great show, I'm sure, with Paul. Then on July 8th, we've got a singer-songwriter out of Austin, Texas, John D. Graham, and his band is called the Fighting Cocks, and which is just two young guys that play bass guitar and drums with him. And John has been touring all over the world for 25-30 years. I've seen his show several times, and it's kind of it can be a pretty emotional trip, really. His songwriting is gripping, would probably be the best way to put it, and he really puts on a great show. And his guitar work, he's got a real kind of gravelly voice, and I think people are going to really enjoy him. Again, like I say, just kind of a lot of diversity. July 22nd, we've got one of the hottest kind of up-and-coming indie jam bands in the area. They're called the Heavy Pets. And they are playing a lot of the big festivals. They're playing the Orange Blossom Festival down in Florida. They're playing the Mountain Jam, which is one of the biggest festivals in the United States, which takes place out in New York State. And we're pretty fortunate, really, to get them here, and that'll be the July 22nd show. And again, kind of a younger feel to it, but it'll have a broad appeal to everybody. I mean, they're very melodic and kind of a real wide mix of what they do. August 5th, we go back to kind of the blues with Andrew Junior Boy Jones is his name, and Andrew played here several years ago at the Orpheum. He played a show that was actually in Momo's down there, and played in front of a pretty good-sized crowd, and the crowd grew as I think word spread about this guy playing. He's a blues player, but it's a little more soulful and a little more rhythm and blues than just straight-up Chicago blues. And then wrapping up the season on August 19th will be a band called the New Primitives, and that's a little ska, a little reggae, a little funk. 9 guys on stage, 3 percussionists. It's going to be an earful of music, and I think people will really enjoy that show too. To wrap it up, it should be a big finale for us, I think, this year. And as Kyle mentioned, we kind of cut things back a little bit. We're only doing one less show this year, and trying to wrap things up a little earlier so we don't get into a lot of the other events going on, and hopefully keep those crowds coming. And I think we've got a great lineup that'll do that.